Well, good afternoon YouTube, and welcome along to this episode of Silver Fox Travels. Today, as you can see, I'm at Eddie's Motors here in Tadcaster. I'm going to take a look at the new BSA Bantam that's come out. Should be an interesting little bike. Seen lots of videos about it, so I think it's about time I had a little bit of a ride on one just to get the feel of it and see what I think. So without further ado, let's get over there and take a look. So here we are. It's proving quite popular. Apparently there's quite a number of the Bantams are out on the road at the moment. I've got one booked in about half an hour's time, so I'm going to get my turn to have a ride on one. But apparently the Scrambler isn't doing as well. More people are interested in the Bantam than the Scrambler, according to what Kieran was just saying. And you meet all sorts here. We have the Bingley Wheeler. Up there. Right then. Okay, let's have a look at this thing now. Hi, it says. Whole collection of controls on here, which I won't bother going into, but we'll soon see what they do. I'm sure they'll explain it to me eventually. But right now, let's get it out on the road. Straight away, a little tall in the seat for me, but not too bad. Let's just give the mirrors a tweak. That's as far over as that one will go. Yeah, that'll do. Right then, off we go. Nice and steady out. Bearing in mind I've got an audience as we go. Okay, so first off I'd say that the seating position is quite comfortable. My knees are a little bit bent back, but not too far, and the handlebars are reasonably tall enough for me, although I think the the clutch lever and the front brake lever are a little low, bit of a sweep down to them. I would prefer them being a bit more level. I'll explain what I'm talking about in a moment. I think if they came up, you can see it there, if that came up just a touch, that would make all the difference. all in all, it's not too uncomfortable a position, and I can get my feet down on the floor without fouling the foot pegs on the sides of my legs as much as on some bikes. Okay, now let's get it moving a little bit. It sounds absolutely fantastic. The burble from the exhaust is brilliant. Now the mirrors, let's have a look at the mirrors. They're all right. Obviously I need to adjust them a little bit better, but I'm not seeing the whole of my elbows and shoulders, and there's plenty of movement there. So yeah, I'd say the mirrors are pretty well organized. Bars are pretty straight, a little bit of a sweep back on them, but I feel as though I'm riding almost a scrambler type of bike. I mean, it's not a scrambler, but for me I would have the bars coming back just a little bit further, another inch or so. I don't think they'd need raising though. I do like this little embossed BSA. Well, I don't know if it's embossed, it's probably just a sticker. Well, it might be embossed. The little BSA on the handlebar there, that's quite nice to see. A couple more BSAs going the other way. Now I'm in top gear, 6th gear, but if I pull in the clutch, the lever does seem to come up as though it's trying to find a 7th one. Obviously there isn't one, but there's no lock on the gear. It comes up as though you're trying to select another gear. But there is a gear position indicator on there, which at the moment is showing 6th. It's an 800mm seat height, I believe, which means I'm sat quite tall up in the saddle here, but I'm not uncomfortable, and I can see part way over the hedgerows, so the view is pretty good from up here. It's coming into Towton now. The brakes are pretty keen, but then again they would be. It's only done what, 800 miles, so it's, you know, it's they are still quite new, although they're pretty much bedded in. When I set off I felt as though the clutch was a little bit snatchy, but I think that was more me than the bike. Oh, it's vaguely reminiscent of the Enfield 350 that I had, except it's got quite a bit more pep to it. I believe it's what, 29 horsepower as opposed to the 20 on the Enfield, so yeah, it's got a bit more guts to it. I do like the sound of it. And with it being a bench seat, I can move back if I want to and lean forward, or I can slide forward and sit up straighter. There's no space between the front and rear seat, and certainly, as I had on the Rebel 500, there's no metal bar between the two, which from time to time I found rather uncomfortable. The suspension on here is pretty good. It's a little bit hard, but again, that's probably because it hasn't bedded in properly yet, but I'm pretty sure it's adjustable. And also there's no sticky out bits on this engine as there were on the Rebel 500, where that clutch cover just basically annoyed the heck out of me. It was really intrusive, rubbing on the side of my leg all the time. It was really uncomfortable. Now, of course, it only has a side stand as far as I could see. Whether or not a centre stand is available as an optional extra, I doubt, because it wasn't on the Gold Star. Although I believe there's now a company that does a centre stand for the Gold Star, so maybe they can adapt one for this bike. But it would be an optional extra. In fact, it would be an aftermarket thing rather than an optional extra. Obviously, a centre stand would be incredibly useful when it comes to oiling and, you know, maintaining the chain. Now, if we can just get past this caravan. Well, thinking about it, I'm doing what, 36 miles an hour. Now, I'm looking for a bike that I can use for bimbling around the country lanes up in the Yorkshire Dales, and 36 to 40 miles an hour is pretty much the most I would ever want to do. So I have to say that at this speed it's not struggling, and I don't feel any aches and pains in my back, although I've only been on it for what, 10-15 minutes if that. How would I feel after an hour or two? Well, if I'm bimbling around the country lanes, I would probably be stopping after an hour to take in some views or have a coffee or whatever. I think I can lose the caravan at this point. Yeah, he's turning left. I'm going to go straight on at this roundabout. we're doing just under 40 miles an hour. There we go, 39, 40 miles an hour. And now we have to back it off to 30. I do like it, I must admit. Up to now I do like it. I would like to have more time on it, of course. I would like to perhaps have a couple of hours rather than the half hour that I've got at the moment. Right, let's see how it copes with speed bumps and the like, because there are a few on here. A little bit hard, but not uncomfortable. Rides really well, actually. I could almost get used to the handlebars, although I must admit I am starting to feel a little bit in my shoulders, especially my left shoulder. So for me that's something I have to consider. Yeah, the handlebars, I would say, definitely need to be swept back a little bit. Now my feet are touching the floor, but only just. It's balls of your feet kind of connection with the floor, as opposed to flat footing. So that's down to the 800mm seat height, of course, but it's not uncomfortable. I got quite used to that on the Enfield, so you know, it's not something I couldn't cope with. Pulls really well, I have to say. That pulled away in fourth, would you believe? Now I've got a car right up behind me and he's going to pass me. Off he goes. Over 50 miles an hour. Well over 50. I was getting to the top end of 50 there. Probably get it up to 60, 65, 70 maybe. Easily. Just aware that there's a roundabout coming up, so I don't want to push it. Plus also it's still a new bike bedding in. Yeah, this has got quite a lot more than what the Enfield ever had. Yeah, it's definitely starting to give my shoulder a bit of a prod. I need to be further up here like this. It's a bit of a reach to the handlebars if I'm in that position, so I'm having to lean forward slightly. So maybe, I don't know, maybe bar risers on an inch or so, or just, I don't know, tweak them back a bit. And when I say tweak them back a bit, I mean turn them in the housing there, so that the handlebars are a bit further down here. I don't know, I think probably replacement handlebars would probably be the better option for me. Something a little bit taller. Maybe something like the ones that's on the new Scrambler. That would probably suit me really well. The handlebars, I mean. I'm not particularly interested in the Scrambler because, to be honest, it looks like a big heavy machine, and it's not something that I would want to be wrestling around the country lanes up in the Dales. Whereas this is excellent. Right, so just before I hand it in, knock it down into neutral. There we go. Just see if we can see what these do. Right, well, I've pressed all 4 of those buttons and they haven't made any difference to the display at all. So I've no idea what they do, but I'm sure they do something. Right, let's go take it back. Kickstand, yeah, easy to get to. I do like this bike, I do like it a lot. One last look at it before we go. BSA Bantam 350. Very nice indeed. Well, what an absolutely fantastic afternoon I've had here today. I had a ride on that BSA Bantam, which I think is an absolutely wonderful bike. And I also had a ride on the Gold Star. Again, another wonderful bike. Thoroughly enjoyed them both. Of course, the Bantam is about £3,000 cheaper than the Gold Star, so that would probably be a factor. And certainly for the sort of riding that I do in the Yorkshire Dales, the Bantam would be ideal. But the Gold Star again does look fantastic. I'm going to go home and check my lottery numbers, and if I've got all the numbers, then I might have both. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, whatever it is that I decide to get in the future, I'll certainly let you know. But I'll finish off the video at this point now, and thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. And as usual, I shall say, look after yourselves, look after the people around you, and until next time, bye for now. Right, so fast forward a couple of days. Today's Monday, the 18th of August, and I've cleaned everything and put everything away, and I've just given the visor on my helmet a bit of a wipe down. ready for the next time I go out. I thought I'd take this opportunity to share a few thoughts on that BSA Bantam that I had a ride on. Now, it's a 350cc engine, slightly under, 29 horsepower, and what I liked about it was that it had a nice 13-litre tank, and according to the write-up, it'll give you something like 70 miles to the gallon, so you're looking at something over 200 miles to a tank full, which is really very good going. Now, I found the seat height at 800mm quite comfortable, actually. I thought it would have been a bit tall for me, but I was able to put my feet down on the ground quite comfortably. Not flat, but I was on my toes, on the balls of my toes, should I say. And the only other thing that I found a bit of a niggle was the handlebars, which I found to be more that position, whereas I prefer it to be more brought back. So if there were a bit of a bend in them, perhaps a slight raise as well, but nothing that can't be adjusted should I decide to ever go for one. More on that later. Now, riding it was really comfortable, and a lot of people are going to enjoy that bike. It's certainly got some power to it. It's 29 horsepower, and it's a lot more than the Royal Enfield ever had, and it can pull away quite quickly. It took itself up to 60 miles an hour without any effort at all, and I'm pretty sure it'll keep up with motorway traffic as well. So yeah, I really did enjoy riding that bike. Is it going to come into the garage? Well, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see on that. There's always the possibility. Now, first of all, I'd like to thank Kieran at Tadcaster at Eddie's Motors there. He very kindly mentioned on Facebook that there was going to be this riding experience. I hadn't noticed it beforehand, so if he hadn't put it on there, I wouldn't have known about it. So thanks again for putting that up, and also thanks for letting me have a ride on the Gold Star, which again I really enjoyed. But comparing one with the other, the 350 Bantam is what, 3,500. The Gold Star is almost £3,000 more, and in fact I believe that it's going to go up to 7,000 fairly soon. So it looks as though the Gold Star is really, as much as I like it, it's really a non-starter for me. Plus also it's not the lightest of bikes, whereas the Bantam is quite lightweight in comparison to the Gold Star. So anyway, a big thanks to Kieran and all the guys at Eddie's Motors up in Tadcaster. And I'll finish off at this point by saying, look after yourselves, look after the people around you, and until next time, bye for now.